Hi, I'm Doug Motel, and welcome to Art Spirit Sunday, where I talk about creativity in general. I talk about the spiritual side of being a creative person. And today I wanted to talk about a old Hawaiian tradition, which is telling children the story of the bowl of light. So the story goes like this. Basically, when every child is born, they are given a bowl of light. And I like to think of that light as just your innocence, um, your your raw spirit before the world and this life that we live in begins to push stories on top of you. And so the story goes that every child is given a bowl of light, and as you grow and you get disappointments, unmet expectations, that kind of stuff, then a little stone goes in your bowl. And I imagine like a little lava stone. And after a while, you can begin to have a bowl filled with stones that completely obscure the light. And in some versions of the story, the bowl of light is so filled with stones that you actually turn to stone. But the thing that I love so much about this story is that really integral to the plot is that at any moment that you choose, you can dump the bowl. You can be free of all of those little stones all those little rocks that you added along the way. And I love that concept because to me, again, this is like my interpretation of it, but my interpretation of it is that in any now moment that you choose to become completely present, when you just ground yourself in the now and you let go, almost like a rope is tying you to the past, or your anticipation about the future. Imagine that those ropes are severed and you're free. And you can do that at any moment that you choose. Now, it's really much easier said than done, right? How are you supposed to just say, "Oh, I forget all the things that happened to me, in my childhood"? Obviously, that's not realistic. I mean, we collect traumas along the way that can become so deep they're embedded in our cells. And there's even some data that says that you can actually hand trauma down to your children because it's so much a part of your DNA. So I don't want to minimize the power that collecting these stones along the way can have over us, but it's comforting for me to know that the practice of coming back, just almost like remember when you're playing tag as a kid, there was always a base. For me and my sister Robin in New Jersey, there was this one oak tree in our front yard, and when we used to play tag, there was that tree. If you could get to that tree, you were safe. And I often think of the present moment as that base. If you can tag that base, if you can come back and that literally, there's nothing abstract or hooky spooky or new agey or anything about that. It's literally put your focus on what is real, your awareness of your senses, your awareness right now about what you can hear, what you can see, what you can smell, what you can taste, and what you can touch, your awareness of your feelings. If you're feeling anxious, just the awareness of that is happening now, by choosing to be aware of that. And then finally, your thoughts, which is trickier, right? Because sometimes the thoughts are kind of like din in the back. And you really have to get really, really still and quiet to be aware of what's going on in your thoughts. But to me, that's the way in which we tip the bowl of light and come back to that place, which could be called your aloha spirit, or your just your innocence, your joie de vivre, your joy for just being alive, just feeling the miracle of being alive. And it really can only happen when you come back here. So I love that story, that that tradition of the bowl of light, and I wanted to share that with you today. Thank you so much for listening, and please come back again.